We all know what it means to make an assumption, but in this case, Brian Von Vier here, we're going to be talking about what's something another character assumed about your own that wasn't intentional, but you rolled with it anyway. Leave yours down in the comments below. When designing my bard character, I made her a hat person. That's right, a hat. Think paperboy caps and berets. She doesn't wear them for any sort of plot reason though. I just think they're cool and I actually wear them in real life. However, the sprite work for our character tokens in our online sessions had a few limitations and the hat couldn't show through as much. I also struggled with finding pictures that had what I was looking for as well. So that hat was definitely lost in translation. One of the other players likes to draw and drew my character based on her character's interpretations of her. Due to the limited sprite work I mentioned, she assumed that they were flowers in my character's hair. Now, the only artwork of her has flowers instead of a hat. I ended up really liking the concept and now my bard wears flowers in her hair sometimes too. That's adorable. The entire party had assumed that my rogue had done hard time in a Greyhawk prison. We started out playing a West March campaign, so we had a new party every 2 weeks or so. The DM was speaking as the guild master for company and mentioned, "Oh, you're back from prison. How was your time there?" What he meant was that my character had just come back from a mission there to hand deliver some goods, and ended up helping them with security like Stallone and escape plan. But the party didn't hear that. They just heard, "Little gnome did hard time, woohoo!" So I rolled with it. A member of my group does our character art, and when they asked me what kind of casual outfit my character would wear, I didn't really know. So I gave them the creative freedom, and they came back with a boob window. My character is a big and muscular male earth genasi, so I decided he wanted a boob window to show off his chest. My Warlock has a strength score of 8. He's a Goliath, so while he's scrawny, he's still a pretty big dude. Our party's Barbarian has an intelligence score of 8. While the player knows my character is relatively weak, their character sees a big dude and assumes strength. My character is frequently asked by the bard to help with strength checks, particularly to the amusement of the halfling paladin, who is significantly stronger than my Goliath. I play a great old one warlock. He hears voices, almost constant whispers in his head. He definitely has some psychotic breaks that led him to be a bit violent at times too. He's generally suspicious of people he doesn't know and doesn't trust easily either. Somehow, people in my group got the great idea that he talks to the items in his inventory like they're people, names them, and generally treats them with more trust than the other party members. Oh, I've absolutely taken this and rolled with it in an ever-expanding list of random objects in my inventory who all have names. My favorites are Annette the Net, Greg the chunk of steak I ate, and Jack. Guess what that is? Oh yeah, a pumpkin. I played a Warlock in a campaign that ended recently, and very early on one of the other players was like, "Wait, did you say goop Warlock? Yeah, and you're an alchemist and a grifter selling snake oil to people with too much money? Are you playing Gwyneth fucking Paltrow?" I mean, it seemed like a lot more fun than what I had intended, so, you know, Gwen Elf the Goop Warlock was born. Mayonnaise. What the hell? Just as titled, mayonnaise. My party and I had picked up an alchemy jug, and our wizard made mayonnaise as an example of what it could do. They then immediately tried making beer, which didn't work because the player forgot it's a once-a-day thing. Fast forward several sessions and we forgot about the jug. And the first time it came back up, someone used it to make mayonnaise. One of the players jokingly said, "At this point, my character's gonna think this jug only makes mayonnaise." And I rolled with it. I kid you not, for the 5 years this campaign was going, my character believed that alchemy jugs can only create mayonnaise. Having made a happy tabaxi who took the Fey-touched feat, I had a habit of smiling whenever I used the Misty Step spell. When we were trying to impress some Fey that were tossing around fairy tale relations, Our bard actually introduced me as a cousin to the famed Cheshire Cat, citing my grin and striped coat. I rolled with it and began making all sorts of cryptic observations. We've since just decided to roll with that being how I got my Fey touched abilities. So, I've been the face for my party for the entirety of our in-person Strahd campaign. The party has only just discovered that arguably I'm the second least qualified for this role because I'm just the monk and not a bard monk's multiclass. To be clear, our party has both a warlock and a paladin. Neither of them thought anything of letting me talk, bribe, and otherwise charm my way through several business deals until someone asked my character to play a song and I told them, guess what? I can't play an instrument. Here's one, a turtle barbarian that dedicated his life to studying all forms of violence as in-depth as possible. Turtles usually pick a topic to hyper-focus on. My proclivity to initiating violence at any turn led to the party assuming my character was stupid. Over time, I rolled with it. I actually caused a huge uproar in a city during a murder investigation because my socially inept character started grabbing random civilians and shaking them while screaming, "Where's the killer? Where is he? Where's Harvey Dent?" Which then in turn led them to having to outrun the guards who were trying to stop me from doing so. The dumbness was reinforced by what was actually a result of total isolation. He had never been around most sapient species before the campaign, and so he often used the wrong words to describe species, such as referring to humans as little goblins, shaky little goblin. Frequent translation issues like that frequently caused funny scenes. We were playing Rime of the Frost Maiden, and my cleric was a recovering cannibal pirate. My friend played a fighter from an elf tribe, and our DM gave them permission to make up lore for the tribe on the spot because they were really good at it. So one day, my cannibal goes into a bit of a craze and needed to be held down. The fighter had the best shot of succeeding. In the process, my character bites him. Friend goes, "In my culture, that's a proposal. And I accept." Cue neither of them fully believing it would actually happen, but falling in love with each other for the rest of the campaign. They got married in the end. I joined a group later in a campaign as a dragonborn. The DM described my character as a large blue lizard, so one of the other people tried to feed me insects from their components pouch. I just took it as a kind gesture, and so my dragonborn now primarily eats bugs. And now I'm reminded of the grub eating scene from The Lion King, which was an excellent scene, and I love it to pieces. I rolled a centaur barbarian once, way back when they were in UA. Big guy, think half Shack, half Clydesdale. He had some randomly generated name that I don't recall because the person who was introducing their character before me said something along the lines of, "Okay, so my guy walks up to Bojack and..." I immediately crossed out whatever name I had there and replaced it with Bojack the Horseman. Was playing a Leonin wild magic barbarian. The initial concept was that the rage was simply innate magic manifesting during periods of battle. I was going to multi-class into sorcerer later for the theme, and was not intended to be noticeable. However, I described one of the first instances of rage effects that occurred as a sparkling or shimmering aura, plus 1 AC to self and allies nearby. At which point, the other players had a constant image of a giant sparkling cat every time he raged. And thus, Stoneclaw the Fabulous was born. Now, technically this was an NPC, but I had introduced him as the Wind Duke Aeolian, an exiled bastard of the Summer and Winter courts, so both. Now the Warlock misheard him, and thus was born the Wind Dude. Ayo! My character's sword is sentient, used to be a human, got true polymorphed into a blade, and an NPC once proclaimed my character couldn't be pursued due to being in a relationship with said sword. They now intend to make their relationship official once the polymorph curse has been undone. So it really isn't a joke anymore, and I really like that idea. Session 1. My character ordered a baked potato from the tavern where they all met. Just a baked potato. He's a bit feral and has no idea how menus work and was too prideful to ask for help while ordering. He is now Potato Boy. Everyone refuses to admit potatoes aren't his favorite food, and he now carries several in his bag of holding. It got to a point that he put a baked potato down as a grave offering instead of flowers. The DM actually introduced us to a talking otter character. When we asked his name, the DM said, it's a good question, as he started to think of a name. Without missing a beat, we said, nice to meet you, good question. And lo, it was official. My character got coffee in the morning once to show that he slept badly. I was gone the next session, and when I came back, my character had a coffee habit. I ran with it and started drinking more coffee IRL to find out what my character saw in it. My very first PC was built to be anything from a murder hobo to a complete goody-goody two-shoes, which meant I left all kinds of ambiguous information undefined. One of those was a small holy symbol of Elastre, which I hope I pronounced correctly. I figured as a drow formerly of the Underdark, that could be a trophy taken from a vanquished foe, or perhaps a sign of the Dark Dancer's favor. This was a fully mundane item. In fact, she briefly gave it away, spending it in the hopes that a temple wouldn't ask questions about her odd request to break the curse on a handful of soul coins, such as, "Why do you have soul coins?" She later stole it back along with the money she'd given to pay for the service of casting the spell when it turned out the coins hadn't had the curse broken yet. When the party's other wizard, a proper one unlike my blade singer, used Detect Magic, the DM revealed that it was, in fact, a magical item. It didn't appear to do anything, of course, but given the nature of it, the party's cleric hypothesized that it might have been an amulet of the devout. By this point, my PC had made a habit of being good in a very drow kind of way. For example, she'd volunteer to rescue the children because it would ingratiate her with the town, and she had no compunctions about using magic to sneak into the kidnappers' camp at night to kill them while they slept. And so, the party naturally assumed that my PC must, in fact, be a follower of Elastre. At which point, I gave up with half measures of trying to make sure my PC would be fine with murder hoboing or being obnoxiously good, and from that point on, she became, in effect, a paladin of redemption by uncommon means. And that amulet? A rare grade amulet of the devout. She's actually a wizard who cannot actually multi-class easily into either paladin, lacks strength, or cleric, lacks the wisdom, though so it is. For all intents and purposes, still just a pendant. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know what's something that another character just assumed about your own character that wasn't really intentional, but you rolled with it anyway. We love you all. Stay safe out there. See you next time. Bye for now.